Welcome to Single Parent Success Stories, a podcast designed to inspire single parents. Here you'll find resources from self-care to finances to parenting and everything in between. Discover what it takes to thrive. Let the stories inspire you to what is possible. Hello and welcome to Single Parent Success Stories. Today we have a special guest, Jennifer Lynn, joining us over from Dallas, Texas. She is an embodiment coach for mamas. It is her ultimate passion and life's mission to elevate and raise the collective consciousness via attuning and connecting to our children. Welcome, Jennifer. It is a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much, Irina. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So please share with us who you are in your own words.
Hello, everybody. I am an embodiment and a life coach for moms. I work primarily with moms and actually exclusively with moms. And my passion is that I realized in my own personal journey that once I began healing myself and working on the inner work within me, and I began to evolve and transform as a person and really target the healing work and the inner child work of myself, I realized that a result of that was that I was better connecting with my children. I was more patient with my children. I could relate and connect to them on a much deeper level. And I was more able to handle triggers and emotional meltdowns, and I could react from a place of being calm and centered and grounded rather than being a reactive parent. And I realized that just by default, as I was doing my own work and continuing to grow, I realized that the parenting became quote unquote easier for me and not as reactionary. And that's where the passion developed, really, to work with other moms to allow them to understand how important it is to prioritize their own healing within their own journey, and that by the result of that, they're able to show up as a better parent for their children.
Beautiful, and kudos to you, for doing that work. I think it's important as you discover more about yourself, the journey back to yourself, you discover this incredible tool that is so helpful, not just for yourself, but also in how you raising your own children. I think that's incredible.
Exactly. I agree. It's been, if you just imagine what this world would be like if we had just a bunch of conscious children that grew up into conscious adults, and we were surrounded by a bunch of conscious people. I mean, obviously that's a big, hefty dream, but I think if we can each do our part in how we interact with our own kids and how we prioritize our own inner healing work, that can really choose to make a big difference in the collective, for sure.
For somebody who doesn't know what embodiment work is, like, why is it important? What would you say to those people?
I would say embodiment. So for me, the example of embodiment would be being able to withhold within yourself the envision and the emotions of the version of you that you're claiming for yourself. So say, for example, if I have a desire to become less triggered or less emotional around my kids, if I can embody that version of me, I can envision what it feels like to hold the space as that person. I can envision what the emotions, the feelings, and the energy is of me as that version of myself. So that's really when I say embodiment, an embodiment coach, that's really the concept of embodiment. And the importance of really the whole embodiment concept for me is that if you're able to see, feel, and envision that version of yourself, you're able to walk into that version and be that version of who it is you aspire to be.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think it is important to, to know who you are and being able to kind of project yourself to who you want to be, and be connected to all parts of you, or have that knowing and knowledge and beingness. So awesome. What makes you happy?
I will say, being able to spend quality time with my children and being able to see them grow in their own right, and just witnessing my kids are pretty small. They are 4 and 6.5, almost 7. And being able to see things that I've taught them or shared with them or have embodied within myself for them, and they have seen me do, and seeing them exemplify that for themselves. For example, we had a situation where my 2 girls were, um, I walked in on them and they were laying in the hallway on the floor, and just laying down in the middle of the floor. And I asked, "What are you doing?" And the youngest, the 4-year-old, she said, she had her hand right here on her chest, and she said, "I got mad at my sister, but I was just trying to calm myself down before I reacted to her." And just I teach them things like that, but I don't ever know if they're really listening or soaking it in. And just to witness little things like that and little examples of them actually not only hearing and seeing me, but taking that on for themselves. It's really beautiful and fun to witness.
Amazing. Yeah, you never know, what they're taking and responding
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
happening. It's only in
exactly.
those sudden moments that you kind of, ooh,
Yeah,
you are
yeah,
listening.
yes, 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 yes. Because we try. I mean, I try with my kids a lot to regulate. I think it's really important to be able to regulate yourself. And so one of the things that I practice myself is a timeout. So instead of, when my kids are being like this, instead of responding to them in a triggered state, I will take a timeout. Rather than giving them a timeout, I take a timeout myself, and I take a few deep breaths. I collect my thoughts, and I just become present, become grounded in that very moment, allow my thoughts to stop wishy-washing all over the place, and become divinely present in that very moment before I react or respond to whatever it is the situation is at hand. I'll become centered within myself before I even speak to them oftentimes. So I call that, for me, I call that, and this is what I like to teach the women that I work with. We need to take a time out too before we even react to situations. Of course, some situations are heated in that you have to stop and calm and diffuse the situation initially. But if you're able to take a breath, if it's just walk away or even standing right there, take a couple of deep breaths, allow yourself to feel calm and centered and grounded before you actually address the situation. It could work wonders. It can make a huge difference in the way that you're responding to them. And then they start to see you from that light, rather than mommy who's always triggered, or mommy who's always reactive, or mommy who's always yelling. I mean, it's hard. It's hard when your kids are yelling and fighting, or, not listening or doing all the things. It's hard to stay calm and centered and grounded within yourself. But I think the degree to which you are able to do that and react and respond from that way, instead of being reactive and triggered, um, can go a long, long way in the growth of your children. Because I think the ultimate goal is to, if we are able to raise kids that don't have to do a lifetime of unhealing the trauma that they experienced as a child, like we are doing today, then that's a win. And in my eyes, that's a win.
You're so right. And yeah, oftentimes the children act as a mirrors. So if something is going on over here, you're gonna see it right there. So good point,
Exactly.
for taking a breath
Exactly.
for yourself first and then responding in a different manner.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a little exercise. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's simple. It's easy to remember, and it's easy to, it's not easy, not always easy in the moment to do, but it's simple.
Yeah.
That's the key.
What advice would you give to your younger self if you had an opportunity to go back in the past?
Don't do it. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Joking. No, you know what? I think that I'm fortunate in that I had kids later on in life. I had two after 40, so I waited quite a while, and I've always said I am so grateful, even though all of my friends have kids that are, you know, teenagers and in their 20s, kids, people that are my age. Um, I am grateful that I waited a while, because this version of me is much more, obviously more mature because I'm older, but much more healed in who she is, and much more sound and confident in who she is, and understands the importance of and the significance of healing myself, and not putting my own traumas and my own dysregulation in the forefront. You know, I've learned how to, I've learned the importance of my own inner work. And I just show up differently right now than I would have as my younger self, as a younger parent. And I'm grateful for the work that I've done on myself, the healing that I've done, and the regulation that I've done within myself, because it's allowed me to be a much more calm person, a much more happier person, and a much more connected parent to my girls. Did I answer? I'm not sure if I even answered the question correctly, but if I would repeat the question again, what would I say to my younger self? You said,
yeah, if you had
as
an
a
opportunity to go back in the past, what would you tell a younger version of you?
a younger version of me. I would tell the younger version of me to pursue all of the dreams that you've always had. Um, I think that, and not to let them go. You know, so many times I think as a younger version, I can remember having dreams and aspirations and goals, and getting super excited about that, and then not always seeing them to fruition. So I think just continuing to remember what those things are that light me up, and to continue to follow down that path of those things, that follow the breadcrumbs of the things that light me up, follow the breadcrumbs of the things that bring me joy, for sure.
Did you follow any of your dreams?
I did, but I took a long time to get there. So I did follow in my dreams. So I've always known that I wanted to do something and serve other people. I always knew that I wanted to contribute in some way, and whatever it is I decided to do for the rest of my life. I knew I wanted to serve. I knew I wanted to help. But along the way, that took many different paths. You know, early on in my life, I thought I wanted to do this or that because this is what my parents wanted me to do, or I wanted to be a doctor because it would, my parents wanted me to just to make them happy, and I think if I would have just gone down the path, like I said, of the things that really light me up, rather than what I thought other people wanted me to do, I would have gotten to the same result. I just would have gotten there a lot quicker. For sure, a lot quicker. But that's okay. It's all part of the journey,
Yeah.
It's all part of the process and getting you here. It's all part of the growth and the evolution of the journey to get to right here in this very moment. I truly believe that.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
What is your superpower, if you had to pick one?
That's so funny, because I would say my superpower now was the one thing that I used to say earlier on in my younger years was the one thing that I didn't have, and that's patience. I think being a mom, you have to have patience. Even if you don't know how to do it, you learn. And I think that earlier on in my younger years, I did not have any patience. I didn't grow up in a household that was really modeled for me a lot. And I think I took on that trait. And I can even remember saying, I'm not patient. I don't have patience. But I was forced to learn patience because you can't not be patient as a child. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself crazy in the process. So I think really being able to, when things are chaotic in the home and things are chaotic everywhere, trying to do all the things, work and family and home life and business and, everything that comes along with it, being able to be patient and be the calm in the storm. It takes practice though.
I thought I had patience until I had my daughter, and then pulled up she removed all the keys from the keyboard. I didn't know it was possible.
Oh, how does that happen? Oh my gosh.
And I'm very, very, very patient. I discovered
I'm
the
so
limit of
glad.
my patience. This was when she was like, I don't know, very young. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years old, maybe 1 year old, a long time ago. I was like, wow.
I just told someone yesterday, she was telling me about her youngest daughter, and one of the things that she did, I probably shouldn't say it on here, but she was saying that she took some of her female products from the bathroom and was putting it all in her pants, the little girls too, and she was putting it all in her shorts, like taking the sticky part off and putting it all in her shorts. And we were having a laugh about that and talking about how it seems like the youngest for some reason gets into the most trouble and is the goofiest and just like the most free spirit. And that's the case with me too. My youngest is like, she's just a free spirit, and she does everything to make you laugh and gets into so much trouble and doesn't care and is the most stubborn. And I don't know what it is about the youngest child, but that seems to be a theme.
What advice can you share for single parents when it comes to embodiment practices or anything like that?
I would say probably the best advice that I could give is to learn how to find your center, and in whatever form that means for you. And for me, being able to find my center and ground myself means stepping outside in the yard and just putting my bare feet in the ground and just sitting there, even if it's just for 1 minute, and allowing myself to just release whatever thoughts, release whatever chaos is happening, release whatever is disturbing me, whatever it may be, to step outside and give yourself that time to refocus, to recenter, and to ground yourself. The other thing I would say too, which I feel is very important, is to have what I call a morning embodiment practice, and that's really just deciding for yourself what is important for you for when you wake up. Because when you first wake up in the morning, it can really determine how your day goes. So if you wake up rushed and in a hurry trying to do all the things, or if you get up and first thing you're on your phone and you're not grounding yourself, you're not focusing, you're not thinking about yourself first thing in the morning, that can deter your entire day. So I would say to be intentional about the way that you start your day. And if that means you get up, so I'll give you a couple of suggestions that I use, and I do some things on some days, different things on different days, just depending on how much time I have and what I'm in the mood for. But one of the fun things I like to do is when I first get up is to just move around. So I always try, I'm not always good at this, but I always try to not, if I have the alarm set, not snooze the alarm. And so by doing that, I'll lay there and just for a moment, I'll just practice being grateful. I'll just say a gratitude, just start listing off some things in my head that I'm grateful for. I'll say some affirmations to myself. It might be just 5 things that I just want to embody for that day. I'm whatever, I am love, I am confident, whatever it is that I just feel in that very moment that I want to embody for the day. I'll focus on that and I'll say it to myself and I really feel it. And that's what I mean by embodiment. It's not just say it, but feel, what does it feel like to be that? And then another really good thing that I like to just kind of move my body for a minute before I even get out of bed. I'll move around a little bit and then I'll do just an overall scan of my body to see if I'm feeling off anywhere in my body, if I'm feeling tightness or tension or anything. So I just physically just sense everywhere in my body. And if I'm feeling somewhere I'm feeling tight, maybe I'm feeling tightness in my shoulders, I'll send energy. I'll move them a little bit, move them around, and then I'll physically allow myself to envision myself sending light and energy and feeling that area of my body expand so I can just feel it opening up. And I just keep doing that until I can actually feel the relief within my body. So I'll do that for a minute and I will keep doing that until I feel like I've made a difference. And I'll get up. But I might do something else. I might get up out of bed and move around, do jumping jacks, dance, or just move around. But I do something before I actually just get up and face the kids or start unloading the dishwasher or whatever. I allow myself the grace of giving myself that time, even if it's 1 minute, even if it's half an hour. I give myself that time before I face the day. And I think having that embodiment practice for me personally has been, it's been life-changing. And it's not always easy to do because sometimes you just want to get up and go get your tea or coffee and start the day. But if you can give yourself the joy, and that's another self-care practice too. That's just loving on yourself and honoring yourself and who you are. So that's probably the biggest piece of advice that I could provide for parents.
Thank you. Those are important points. I personally say to myself when I wake up, it's going to be an awesome day. That's one of the things I practice.
Yes.
So right about, listing the gratitude things, because sometimes when you're in the midst of a bad situation, all you think about is the bad situation, and you forget to think about all the amazing things that are already present that you just take for granted.
Yes, because that's what happens is when you wake up, that's the first thing you think about. You start thinking about all those things that cause you to stay up at night, that cause you not to sleep well, all the current things that are not good in your life right now that you're having to deal with, the things that are stressing you out. That comes to mind immediately. So if you can train yourself to release those thoughts and stop focusing on that first thing when you wake up, it could change your life. It could definitely change your day. And if you make it a habit, an ongoing habit, I think you can really see the benefit from that.
Yeah, you're so right. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to share?
I think we covered it. I feel complete.
All right.
Yeah.
If people would like to find you, learn more about you, where would they go?
So I have a Facebook group that is just for women, just for moms. And it really doesn't matter what age your children are, because the underlying theme that I want to get across is, number one, there is no guilt. So even if your children are grown, you're not too late. You're not too late to prioritize yourself and your healing journey, your evolution and your growth. And so, one, honoring yourself and allowing yourself to release any of those negative emotions like guilt because you didn't do it right. It's easy for us to say, we didn't do it right, but you're here right now and, in this moment, making a difference. So the name of the group is Mamas Unbound, MAMAS, Unbound, UNBOUND. So it's it can be found on Facebook at facebook.com/groups-Mamas Unbound.
Thank you. We will include all the links in episode notes. So
okay,
thank you
yes.
so much for coming. And I learned a great deal about embodiment practices. I think they are very, very important. And I love the work that you are doing and how you're helping mamas feel less stressed and be more like themselves, like the best version of themselves, as opposed to a run down, stressed out maniac that just goes 6 boxes off but doesn't feel alive. So
exactly. Yes, it's parenting is not for the faint of heart, especially single parenting. It's not for the faint of heart. But if I can do my piece in assisting along in that journey, then my work is done. If I can just, do my piece and my part in that journey for other moms.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. I loved having you.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you, Irina.